Hello everyone, it's June 24th. Alright, uh, well, the work today was alright. I mean, I haven't finished everything, but I finished the majority. I feel pretty good about it. It will be the first major merge request I'll submit. So, and I really like working with one of the staff, senior engineer. He's pretty good. Good mentor. Actually, most of the people there are very good mentors. Helped me a lot. Um, the thing is with programming design, right? And there's no one correct answer, but if you have different designs and then you start discussing, you will find the right one, and then they won't just stick to their belief. They will discuss with you, and then if your idea is good, they acknowledge it. So I fully appreciate that. That's one of the things I appreciate the most. All right, so let's not talk about appreciation. Let's go to this problem. Non-decreasing array. Given an array nums with n integers, your task is to check if it could become non-decreasing by modifying at most one element. We define an array as non-decreasing if this holds for every I such that n minus 2. Oh yeah, here's R. So you could modify the first to get a non-decreasing. This one you can't. I feel like I remember this one. Non-decreasing. Okay, so change one. So if I change one, which means everything is. So why don't I just if you sorted it, you wouldn't know, right? But why don't we just check we'll just check, all right? If we find the first one that is decreasing, we set up a flag. But so if we can change at most one element, if everybody is increasing and we have one either too small or too big, right? That's the two situations, either too small or too big. So what we want to do is find if there is a drop, right? And if there is a drop, then that's definitely not good, right? Okay. Yeah, should I just go through and see? I bet this one has lots and lots of edge cases. Like seriously, lots of edge cases. Yeah, let's try this. We just check one by one. Check if it's larger than the previous one. We go to the next one. We go to the next one until if we drop. Okay? Now, if we drop, there are scenarios. If we have increase, and then we drop. Now, it could be the drop one needs to be dropped, or the increase one needs to be dropped. It depends on what scenario you're talking about. So, if I have a drop, if this drop is larger than the one in front of me, then we say the increase one needs to be dropped, and then we have to keep going. But if the drop one is, like, say, too low and everything else is going, yeah, that's basically what it is. You keep going, and then you will always have a first drop, right? And when you have a first drop, it depends, right? It depends on how far the drop is. Don't like it. Any better way to do this? If it always going up, right, then it's cool. If it drop, yeah, if it drop, then we shall take the drop. So whatever it is, we'll have a drop, and then we take the drop, and then we keep going. All right, and then whenever it drop, and if we have two drops, then that's no good. We can only allow one drop. If we have two drops, that means the trend breaks twice. Okay, it just means it's not possible. And now when we drop, there are different scenarios. So if we have more than one drop, it's just not possible. So we just record where we have the drop. Okay, so we go around, find the drop, and then we find the drop. And if we have two drops, and it basically just means the trend gets broken twice. So if more than one drop, it's no good. Okay, so we focus on only one drop. Okay, so we focus on only one drop. Now we know where the drop is. Now we're going to just make some decision. So we can say we're going to remove the drop, and then we just need to compare the value after the drop and the value before the drop, if they match, right? If they match. Now that's one way to put it. Another way is say the value before the drop. I say this one is bad, so we're going to compare the drop with the value. Maybe we can try. We can definitely try. But I feel this is not the right way to deal with this problem. But we're gonna try. So basically, and in order to avoid edge cases, like if the first one, right, now the first one, the second one is a drop. Yeah, it's fine. The second one is a drop. We can remove this or remove this. It's the same, right? It's the same. So what we need to do is we go from the second one, okay? We go from the second one to the end, right? Go from the second one to the end. And then everyone has to be larger equal to. And whenever we have one drop, and if we have one drop, we recorded it. All right. Okay. So when I say index equals -1, for I in range, I'd say from 1 to len nums, right? So if nums I is smaller than nums I -1, so that's a drop. The index equal to I, right? When you say if index already larger equal to 0, so which means we find as a second drop, then we just return false. So this will be 2 drops, impossible. So otherwise, we do it once, right? Okay, come out. We have this one position, we have a drop. Now we basically say, okay, we can remove the drop, right? Because that's the discontinuity. We'll remove the drop and see if we can stitch the remaining together, or remove this and see if we can stitch the two together. So we just say if nums, so remove I, so I -1 is smaller or equal to nums I +1. We remove I. Or nums, if we remove I -1, okay, we remove this. This is too high, right? It's too high. So we remove that. And we say if nums, so that's one situation. I +1. I might not be able to +1. Right? I might not be able to +1. So like if the drop is the last one. Okay, so if the drop's the last one, it's always going to be fine. We say if I is equal to len nums -1, the drop is the last one, or I is equal to 0. I cannot be 0. It's impossible to be 0. Or I equals to 1. Right? I equals to 1 is the second position we have a drop. If we have a drop a second position and then nothing will drop again, that's also fine. So in these two situations, return true, right? So if it's not these two situations, then this is always valid, or I must be like 2 or larger, so I -2. So we say we remove I -1, right? So we say this is smaller or equal to nums I, then we return true. Otherwise, return false. We can try, see how these goes. So this one will be true, and this one will be false. So these are pretty straightforward. I don't expect anything. Nums, check possibility. These are right. Do we dare? Okay, we have like, this should be true, and 2, 3, this one should be true, right? Oopsie doozy. This one doesn't work. Oh, it's just edge case, right? So we can just say if len nums is equal to 1, actually if len nums is smaller or equal to 2, they always work. Right? This is edge case. I have a couple more. For example, let's say to do this will always be true. And let's say this should be true. But this shall be false. So I need to change more. Number 6. This was the first drop. Okay. So index is I, and then the remaining is fine. Okay, now we say if I minus 1 is smaller or equal to this. Doesn't work. I minus 2 smaller or equal to. How am I returning true for this? That is very strange. Okay, so let's print index. Oh, it's supposed to be index. Ha! That was very interesting. How did I forget about index? These are all index. Yep. Okay, so I threw a couple of test cases and it seems to be working for me. Let's see if it works for them. Show me. It does work for them. So it's not really that hard, but I think previously I just didn't consider all the test cases. I wrote these test cases, which is actually pretty important. So I got a little bit scared. Initially, I thought this one was quite difficult, but turns out it's all right. It's the third time. You see that? The third time, 2021. We did in February, May, and then this year. 665. So I was a bit paranoid at the beginning, thinking that this could be one of those tough medium ones. Fortunately, it was not. We checked for the point, right, for the index where nums drop down, and we only allow one such drop. Thus, if more than one drop is detected, immediately return false. Now, once a drop is identified, either the drop index can be removed, or the index right before drop can be removed. Check both situations and we have it. So this is ON because it didn't do anything. Okay, let's check how many test cases. I'm pretty sure it's a little bit more because it's a bit slower. Inversion. Yes. Yes. Yes, so this is the same. These are index. Yeah. Why do you do this? If this return true, I just say if this or if this, so we just return, we can directly return this. I don't have to, yeah, I directly return this. Yeah, yep, that's basically it. I have 335 test cases last time. 335 test cases, the same. All right, so we can move on. We are in the mood, so let's see if we can tackle another one. I know, no, I'm not kind of going through them as fast as I can, but just going a very chill pace. Sometimes feel like it, I do one problem. If I don't feel like it, then I don't do anything. That's basically how it is. That's usually the best way to handle these problems. Just, don't give yourself too much pressure. We push in there, right? We push in there. So given a 2D integer array, tiles, where tiles I equals LIRI, representing that every tile j in the range. Hold on. It's a 2D array, okay? Tile I is this, representing that every tile j in the range Li to Ri is colored white, okay? You are also given integer carpet length, the length of a single carpet that can be placed anywhere. Wait, have I done this before? The max number of white tiles that can be covered by the carpet. I feel like I've done this before, but apparently I shouldn't because this is a new problem. Huh. Okay, so Li to Ri is colored white, and we're given a carpet length. The maximum number of white tiles that can be covered by the carpenter. So tiles 1, 5, 10, 11, 12, 18, 20, 25, 30, 20. So the question is, given a carpet length 10, what's the maximum number of tiles you can cover? That is an interesting problem. So you can cover 9, but most 9 is just cover 2. Okay, so we have tile length, blah, 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 none overlapping the tiles. But there could be gaps. The stupid way, right? The stupid way, because the tile length is 5 times 10 to the 4th. So the stupid way is just like a, sliding window. Right, we'll put this at the first and see how far we can reach, right? And as we go, it should be the same number of tiles, right? So we have a starting state. We have all these, and then we have one huge length. It will end somewhere, because if we're starting from here, so it's 10, so we're 1 to 10. So we will cover 10, right? We'll cover 10. And we just count, and this okay, so 1 to 5, we have 5. And then 10, we only have 1, so we cover 6. And as we move forward, right, if we move 1 by 1, which is tiles 10 to the 9th, you will time out. So you have to move smartly, which just means we have to move. How do we move? Now, if we move forward, so like initially, however much you're covering, right? And things will not change until you move out, right? Until you move out. So we can compute, right? We can compute. So here, when we set at the beginning, right? We set at the beginning, and we can actually reorganize this. Like this 11, 12, which can just become one tile, 10 to 18, right? So the first example, we can reorganize them, right? We can reorganize them to 1 to 5. Well, we can't just 10 to 11, right? So that's what we see initially. That's what we see initially. So in this case, what we know is to the right I can move 1, then I'm going to go out. To the left I can move 5. To the right I can go 1. So we say within this range, at least within 1, my size is 6. It stays the same. Okay. So now I need to move beyond. Right. We need to move beyond because we're beyond this 1. So we'll always move the smaller one. So we're in a plus 1. Now we have 4 here, and this we have 0. Okay. So next we move this, then we move 1. Right. We move to the next one. So we move to the next one is 12 to 18. Okay. So we move to the next one, which is just the smaller one plus 1. That's how you move to the next one, right? So initially we can move 1, we can move 1, 2, 3, 4, actually 4, 5. Yes, we can move 5. This we can move, actually we'll move 2, right? We can move 2. 1 on this side we can plus 5. On this side we can plus 2. So 5 and 2, right? 5 and 2. And then we pick the smaller one, we add that amount. And after add amount, on the left side we have 3, right? We can move 3 because we go 1, 2, we can move 3 to move out of it. And then on the right side, now we enter 12, right? Because we add 10, we add 1 and 10, right? And then we add 10. Now we are at, we add 2, now we add 3 and 3 and 12. Now we have 3 and 12. And the left, we have left is on the left side we have 3 left because we move 1, 2. All right. We have 3. And then we have 5 minus 3 plus 1. We have 3 left on here. And on the right side, we move into 12. Now that's not a good one, right? That's not a good one. So just extra step. It's extra step. Let's just merge them. Okay, merge them. So it's 1, 5, 10, 18. 1, 5, 10, 18, 20, and 25. So initially we have 5 to move on the left side, and isn't there 9 to move on the other side? All right, we have 9 to move on the other side. Okay, so we have 6. Okay, initially 6. Now we're going to move plus 5. After plus 5, on the right side we have 4 more to move. On the left side we getting into the barrier, the emptiness, right? We're getting out of this. All right, so when we're getting out of it, so we need to know. Right, so we clock in this, and then we move out of the front. Out of the front. So when we move out of the front, we have to keep counting the gap. Yeah, now we're in here, and then we know the gap. The gap between the two is 5. So we have a 5 gap, right? We have a 5 gap. Because now we're here, we go here, right? Now we're in the gap. And then on the right side, we have 4 more to go. 4 more to go. These are not the easiest. How about I record the index of the carpet? So we start from 1 and 10. Okay, we start from 1 and 10, and in between 1 and 10, okay, 1 is in the first, and then 10 is in the last, and then how do we know the number of gaps between? Well, maybe we can compute the gaps. What would be a good algorithm for this? I want a way, so if I know the index, okay? If I know the index of the thing, I'd like to know if it's in between or it's, hold on. If you give me the index, how do I know if it's inside the white tiles or it's in the gap, right? That's the question. That is the question. Let me think. What if I expanded it into this? 1, let's say, 1 left. Wait, I'm thinking about binary search. Think about binary search right now, but I'm not sure if it's possible. Let me try. So what I'm thinking is do 1, let's say, left, okay, 5 right. That's what I'm thinking about. And then we have 10 left. Yeah, just left or right. Just say 0 and 1. So 0 is left, 1 is right. Okay, so 10, 0. We don't do 11, 12. We do 18. Ooh. You just pop it. That's 1. And then 20, 0. And 25, 1. Okay? So this is the thing. I'm going to say from bisect, let's import bisect left, right? Doesn't matter. We say bisect left A. Where do we put it? We put index. Let's say 7. What do we get? Key equals lambda tuple 0. How about that? Unmatched. Too many. Yep. So 0, 1, 2. So 7 is in between this, right? And then what I can do, I know if it's matching, it will go to here. So maybe Yeah, it's fine. So 0, 1, 2, I'll check 2. If 2 is equal, that means left landing here. If it's not, that means I'm landing in between, right? And then we check the left and right. If left is 1, right is 0, that means I'm landing in the blank, right? And then on the right side, we'll land somewhere. So now the question is, how many are there in between these things? Now that we can get by that I can get by some prefix sum stuff. So like in this one, I can say it always has to end at a 1, right? Yes, it always has to end at a 1. So basically we can just say if it's a 0, this is 0. Right? We don't have anything. And then ending here will be 5, right? So it'll be 5 here. And then 5 here. Well, do we include this or do we not include this? I'm thinking. All we want to know is like from here to here, what's the value? Well, from here to here, because it's a 0 and a 1, we can compute how many there are. So I just need to know the number of this and plus, yes, we'll do that. It's just like this one will be the same, right? So when we land somewhere here, if we have left, land in between, then we just consider this one, and then to the end. And then the end, if it's in a gap, that's just going to be towards this. Okay. So we produce this first, and then we produce the thing. So it'll be 0, 5, 5, 13, 13, and 18, right? So 18. So if let's say, if I cover something to something between, then I need to know from this to this how much. So I get here, so I get to the 1, and then this would tell me it's in front to this. So we can just use this, whatever this is, to minus whatever this is. Yeah. Then we can know the whole thing in between. And then we do plus and minus on this. Okay. That's maybe how we can do this. But now the question is, how does help us find the maximum? Find the maximum. We're just going to jump, right? We start from something, and then we always jump. So we start from something, and then we jump the smaller number of white tiles between the two. So we jump. Now we go inside we have empty, right? Yeah, we jump out, we have something left, and then we do another jump. Yeah, I can find out how many is in between. This is doable. But then, because the jump means when you do within, it's the same. So we jump, right? We jump out, and then we recompute. We recompute the length, right? And then, if you're in the gap, you can compute. You can compute how many you can move while you're still in the gap. And on the other side, so we can jump again. Jump from here. Yeah, if one side is, the other side still have something. And you should keep moving there. How to code that? Maybe that's not the wisest idea. Let me think. Well, if we have a tile whose length is larger or equal to the carpet, then that is our solution. We're done. If it is not, right? If it is not, then that's not working. So the start will have scenario. So every time we'll have some scenario. And that's the same thing. So we just solve one, we can solve the remaining. Okay. So the scenario is, because when we start, we always put it on the first tile. Okay. We put it on the first tile, and then the end could be it's either inside a tile or it's hanging, right? So we start, we have the tile and a carpet aligned, and then the end is either hanging or it's inside a tile. Now, if both situations, we can compute the length, right? So that's done. Now, after that, after we compute the length, after we do that, then we need to move forward. So if it's on a gap, right? So on the left side we have something, but on the right side we're in a gap. And if we move forward, it's only going to get smaller, right? Because we're losing one, we're not gaining one. So we just directly jump. Jump to where? And remember, we're in the gap, so if we keep moving, we'll lose some, and then boom, we hit, right? Boom, we hit, and then if we hit, then we just add 1 minus 1, add 1 minus 1. So it's always going to stay low. So we have to keep moving, and then if we keep moving, and then we start losing on the left side, right? That's when we can gain, right? So that's the situation where on the left, we are in the empty. Just started with the empty. Because right before we do, hold on, so every time the right side hits an empty, a gap, if the right side hits a gap, right, then the total either stay the same or the total would decrease, right? So it's never going to be, so whenever the right side we hit a gap, we just fast forward. There's just no point. It's going to decrease no matter what, right? If the right hand is a gap, we just fast forward. fast forward to wherever it is. Fast forward to the next one, right? Just fast forward to the next one. Hit, okay? So the right side has to hit on a solid. Then every time we move, we're increasing, right? So now we hit a solid. So every time we move, we're increasing, unless on the left side is also the stuff, right? If the left side is also, then we are reducing one, we plus one, reducing one, plus one, until the left side is a gap, right? If the left side is a gap, so here's the thing. So we start, we compute how many we covered, right? How many we're covering, and if the right side is still good, right? Then we just keep going, right? If we just keep going, however many right side we can go, we add that much, right? Add that much, and we just going to, so like that's the total number we can gain, right? That's the total we can gain. And on the left side, we just need to compute in this range how much we're gonna lose, right? And then the difference is going to be the gain we're gonna have. Okay. Okay. So the right hand side we're gonna gain, on the left hand side we're gonna lose. How we compute that? So we have, let's say, certain number. We have a range, right? And that's the how many more tiles on the right we can gain. And then we put on the left side, basically, we just compute, right? See how much of that, starting from here, how many we can cover. If we can cover it entirely, then it doesn't matter. Right? It doesn't. So basically, we move that much to the right, this can move to here, right? So just between this and between this range, I want to know how many tiles are. So give me a range. I want to know the number of tiles inside. That is the question. Give me a range. I want to know the number of tiles inside. That's it. That's my. Can we do that? Yes, we can. Because if you give me a range, right, I can binary search on the left, binary search on the right to know where they are. And I can do prefix sum. So I can easily find out the number of tiles in between. Once we find that out, and we have and then we do the minus, so I know how many we have. Once we're done, we just move the gap, right? Move the gap, move to a new thing, right? We'll move the gap and move to right before the gap. So we have this. So yeah. Okay, I have a strategy. But I kind of feel lazy. I don't want to do it today. So okay, I'm gonna lay out the strategy right now. So we need to be able to O log n, okay? O log n. So give me a range. I need to tell you how many tiles, so white tiles, are in this range. So that's the helper function we need to write. And that has the range O log n, binary search, okay? So once we have that, we're gonna start with, it's on the left side, right? We put the tile, we put the carpet on the leftmost tile, and then we have a leftmost of rightmost. We have this range, so we put it into the function, give me the current number, right? So we have a current number that we can cover, and then we look at the right side, right? If the right side is no matter where the right side is, okay? No matter where the right side is, oh, actually, it does matter. So if the right side, right? If the right side, That is an interesting thought. If we want to make this consistent, then the right side shall be before hitting the first tile. Okay? The right side shall be before hitting the first tile. Okay? So the right side is going to be on the 0. So this side is going to be on 0. And our current tile count is 0. Now we go. First one, we have 5. Boom, move 5. Okay? I move 5. So right is 5, left is minus whatever. Doesn't matter. And then we say, okay, how many is that? Now that is we gain 5. And how many do we lose? Well, we're moving from, let's say, minus 10, right, to minus 5. So how many is between minus 10 and minus 5? That is 0, right? So with that, we say the first move from here to here, we're gaining 5. So we put down 5, right? Now we have a gap. Gap is always decrease or negative. We don't consider, which is move, boom, jump into here. Okay? And then what we're going to say is at 9, position 9, and a position, what's that, minus 1. No, 0. Position 0 and a position 9. Giving me a current value. Give you a current value, right? And then boom, I jump to position 18. Right? We jump to 18, and then this one will go from 0 to 8. Right? 0 to 8. So we calculate what's 0 to 8. Because here it's going to plus 8. Well, actually, no, plus 9, right? Because we have 10 to 18 and plus 9. So we plus 9 and minus 5. So it's plus 4. Right? It's plus 4. So plus 4 plus 5, so now we have 9, right? So that's done. Okay, now we're gonna move, boop, move here, right? And then this one, boop, move forward. And then we're just gonna say from this to this, how much do we have? Right? We find out that, and then boom, move again. So basically the move is we're gonna move a chunk of here and chunk of here. So we do chunk by chunk, right? Chunk by chunk. Okay, I don't want to implement it today. I'm gonna try it tomorrow. I'll try it tomorrow. I hope this is a valid solution. Anyway, so I'll just terminate here, and we'll see you guys tomorrow. Hopefully tomorrow is not a hard problem, so we'll finish this and I have enough mental capacity to tackle this one. All right, I'll see you guys tomorrow. Adios.